Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into something pretty amazing. Today, it's all about red clover. And guess what? This little plant might help your skin, your heart, even those tough menopause symptoms. Get this. We've got articles, we've got ancient wisdom, and even some really cool scientific studies all about red clover.
It's really fascinating. Red clover has been used in traditional medicine for ages, and now modern science is starting to figure out just why it works so well.
Okay, so let's break this down. First up, red clover is famous for helping women going through menopause, right?
Absolutely. And the stars of the show, isoflavones, plant compounds that act kind of like a milder form of estrogen in the body. So, if you're dealing with things like hot flashes or those annoying night sweats, red clover could really make a difference.
So it's like having a little backup while your hormones are doing their own thing.
Exactly. It's not about replacing any treatments you might be on, of course. Just another tool in the toolbox,
Oh.
to maybe smooth things out a little. And it's not just about those uncomfortable symptoms either. Red clover could be good for bone health, which is super important during menopause when bone density can be a concern.
So it's like red clover is on Team Women's Health.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait.
But wait, so there's more, right? I hear red clover is good for your skin too.
You got it. A lot of skin problems, they start with inflammation. And red clover, it's got some incredible anti-inflammatory superpowers.
So for things like eczema or even just, everyday irritation, red clover could help.
Exactly. And there's even some research that suggests it could speed up wound healing by helping tissues regenerate.
So a little red clover salve in the first aid kit. This is getting better and better. Okay, wait, there's more. What about red clover for a healthy heart?
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Think of red clover as like a triple threat for your cardiovascular system. First, it might help lower that bad cholesterol, the LDL.
Okay, keep the bad stuff down. What else?
Well, it might actually boost HDL cholesterol, the good kind that protects your heart.
2 for 2 on the cholesterol front. What's the third heart-healthy benefit?
So red clover seems to support healthy blood flow, which can help lower the risk of, blood clots. And it might even help with blood pressure, too, thanks to its vasodilatory effects. Basically, it helps your blood vessels just chill out.
Wow, this one little plant does so much. Hormones, skin, now heart health. Are you telling me there's even more?
Oh, there's definitely more. Let's talk detox. Traditionally, red clover was used as a blood purifier, and research is now showing us why.
Blood purifier. Okay, what does that even mean?
Think of it like this. Your liver is your body's filter, right? Working hard to remove toxins. Red clover, it seems to help your liver do its job even better, making it a natural detoxifier.
So like giving your liver a little extra help. I like that.
And here's another cool thing. Red clover could also support your lymphatic system, which is basically your body's waste removal team. Helps get rid of toxins, extra fluids, all that stuff. Keeps your immune system happy.
So red clover tackles detox on 2 fronts.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It is pretty amazing. But wait, there's more. Now let's talk about the respiratory system, where red clover really shines.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about it.
Remember those anti-inflammatory powers we talked about? Well, they come in handy here, too. Red clover has been used for ages to soothe coughs and colds.
Oh, so a cup of red clover tea when you're feeling under the weather.
You got it. It might help loosen up mucus, calm a sore throat, and maybe even ease those annoying symptoms that come with asthma or bronchitis.
That's amazing. So we've got hormonal support, skin benefits, heart health, detox, respiratory relief. Is there anything this plant can't do?
Well, there's one more thing we should talk about, and it's something that always gets people's attention. Cancer prevention.
Okay, now we're getting serious. Tell me more.
Of course. And it's important to remember, research here is still pretty new, but those isoflavones we mentioned earlier, the ones that kind of act like estrogen, they're being studied to see if they can help prevent cancer.
Interesting. What types of cancer are we talking about?
Specifically, hormone-sensitive cancers like breast cancer or prostate cancer. And while we need more research, what we've seen so far is pretty promising.
So it's not a cure or anything, but it could potentially be a part of preventing cancer. Wow.
It's definitely an area to keep an eye on, but it's super important to remember that this isn't a replacement for any cancer treatments you might be getting. Always talk to your doctor before using red clover, especially if you have any other health conditions or you're taking medications.
Right. That's always good advice. So we've covered a lot here. Seems like red clover has an answer for almost everything. But before we get carried away, let's get practical. How do you actually use red clover?
Well, that's the best part, right? It's super versatile. You can find it as a tea, a tincture, extracts, capsules, even creams and salves. Something for everyone.
I can already picture myself relaxing with a nice cup of red clover tea at the end of a crazy day. And not only would it be delicious, but I'd be getting all those potential health benefits too.
You got it. And it's so easy to make it part of your routine. But before we get into the how-tos of red clover, I think we should talk about a few things to watch out for, just to be safe.
Yes, safety first. What do people need to keep in mind?
Well, like we said earlier, anyone who's had any hormone-sensitive conditions like breast cancer or ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, they should definitely chat with their doctor before trying red clover.
Makes sense with those estrogen-like effects. What else?
It's also smart to be aware of how it might mix with any medications you're taking. Red clover could interact with blood thinners or hormone therapies, so definitely talk to your doctor if you're on any medications.
Okay, so always check with your doctor first. Anyone else, you should be extra careful.
Yeah, pregnant women and women who are breastfeeding, there just isn't enough research yet to know for sure if it's safe for them.
Okay, so always err on the side of caution and talk to a healthcare provider, especially if any of those things apply to you. All right, with those precautions out of the way, let's move on to the fun part. How to actually use red clover in your everyday life.
I like it. Let's get practical and explore all the amazing ways you can enjoy the benefits of this incredible plant.
Okay, so let's talk about how to actually use red clover. You mentioned tea, tinctures, extracts, even creams.
Yeah.
So many options. Where do we even start?
Well, red clover tea is always a great place to begin. It's simple, enjoyable, and a wonderful way to experience its benefits. Imagine curling up at the end of the day with a warm mug of red clover tea. That earthy aroma filling your kitchen.
I can practically smell it now.
Yeah.
And we're talking about real benefits here, not just relaxation. From hot flashes to helping your heart.
Right. And red clover tea is so versatile. You can drink it hot, iced, add a little honey or lemon if you like, even blend it into smoothies.
Okay, I'm sold on the tea.
Yeah.
But what if you want something, a little stronger?
Tinctures and extracts are a great option then. They're like a concentrated form of red clover made by soaking the blossoms in alcohol or glycerin. It pulls out all those good compounds.
So you're getting a more powerful dose that way.
Exactly. And they're super easy to use. Just add a few drops to water or juice and you're good to go.
Okay, so tea for gentle support, tinctures and extracts for something a bit more potent. What about capsules? Those seem pretty popular these days.
Capsules are perfect if you want something convenient, or maybe you're not crazy about the taste of red clover. They're pre-measured, easy to swallow, and great for traveling.
So no matter where you are, there's a red clover option that fits. Now, I'm really curious about those topical things you mentioned, creams and salves. How do those work?
So red clover creams and salves, you can put those directly on your skin. They're great for things like eczema, psoriasis, even small cuts and scrapes.
So you can benefit from red clover inside and out.
You got it. Red clover is amazing for soothing and healing the skin, all thanks to its anti-inflammatory and tissue-regenerating properties.
Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so we've talked about the different forms of red clover and how to use them. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. Red clover and detoxification. It just seems like such a powerful aspect of this plant.
Absolutely. Detoxification is so important for your overall health and well-being, but it often gets overlooked.
So can you remind us how red clover helps your body's natural detox processes?
Well, as we mentioned before, red clover seems to help your liver work more efficiently. And your liver is key for filtering toxins out of your blood.
Right, like your body's own personal filter.
Exactly. And red clover seems to help by boosting bile production, which is essential for breaking down fats and getting rid of waste.
Okay, so red clover helps your liver do its job of removing toxins. But what about its effects on the lymphatic system?
Think of your lymphatic system as your body's drainage system. It helps remove waste and excess fluid from your tissues. Red clover seems to improve lymphatic drainage, which basically means it keeps things moving smoothly.
I love that analogy. So it's supporting both the liver and lymphatic system in their detox efforts. That's amazing.
It is, and that's why so many people who use red clover say they feel lighter, more energized, and just less sluggish overall. When your detox pathways are working well, it can really make a difference in how you feel.
What's really fascinating to me is that red clover doesn't just focus on one thing, It seems to take this whole body approach, supporting lots of different systems all at the same time.
I think you're right. It's a great example of how interconnected our bodies really are. When one system's off balance, it can affect everything else. And red clover, with its ability to work on multiple systems, can help bring that balance back.
We've talked a lot about red clover's potential benefits, But we also mentioned that it's important to use it carefully, especially for people with certain health conditions or if they're taking medications. It's worth repeating that, right?
Definitely. Red clover is generally safe for most people, but it's always best to be on the safe side and talk to your doctor before adding it to your routine. They can tell you if it's right for you and help you figure out the right dosage.
Especially important if you have a history of any hormone-sensitive conditions or are taking medications like blood thinners or hormone therapies. Better safe than sorry.
I agree. It's all about being informed and making healthy choices for yourself.
Now, you mentioned earlier that research on red clover is ongoing, especially when it comes to cancer prevention. I'm curious to hear more about the latest findings.
It's definitely an exciting area of research. Like we discussed, those isoflavones in red clover, the ones that act like estrogen, are being studied for their potential to prevent cancer, especially those hormone-sensitive cancers like breast and prostate cancer.
So what are researchers finding? How does it actually work?
Some studies are showing that isoflavones might actually block the growth of cancer cells by messing with their signaling pathways.
So basically, they're disrupting the communication system that tells cancer cells to grow and multiply.
That's a great way to put it. It's like cutting the lines of communication that allow those cancer cells to spread. And there's also evidence suggesting that isoflavones could promote apoptosis, which is basically programmed cell death for those rogue cells.
So they're encouraging those cancer cells to self-destruct. Wow, that's pretty incredible.
It is, and it really highlights the incredible ways plants can interact with our bodies, even at the cellular level.
It's mind-blowing to think about all these intricate processes happening inside us that we're usually totally unaware of.
It really is. It makes you appreciate the power of nature and how plants can help prevent and even treat diseases.
Okay, I have to say I'm feeling super inspired by everything we've learned about red clover today.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much this one little plant can do.
Hmm.
I bet our listeners are feeling inspired too.
I hope so. It's empowering to learn about these natural solutions that can really make a difference in our health and well-being. And red clover is just one example. There are so many amazing plants out there.
That's so true. As we start to wrap up our deep dive into red clover, I want to leave our listeners with a thought. What are some small changes you can make today to bring more natural remedies into your life?
It's a great question. It could be as simple as brewing a cup of red clover tea or trying a new herbal supplement. Or maybe it's about being more mindful of what's in the products you use every day.
Every little step towards a more natural lifestyle makes a difference. And don't forget, always do your research, chat with your doctor, and pay attention to what your body's telling you.
I agree. It's about finding what works for you on your own personal wellness journey.
Well said. So as we finish up our exploration of red clover, I want to leave you with this question. Where do you see red clover fitting into your own wellness journey? Maybe it's a soothing cup of tea after a long day, maybe it's gentle support during menopause, or maybe it's just a natural way to boost your overall health.
So many possibilities. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep discovering all the amazing things nature has to offer. Things that can help you live a healthier, more vibrant life.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of red clover. We'll be back next time with another exciting exploration of natural remedies. It really makes you realize just how much we can learn from nature if we just pay attention. And red clover is the perfect example. It's not some, trendy new thing. It's been around for ages. And now science is catching up and showing us why people have been using it for so long.
I know, right? There's this idea that natural remedies are somehow, I don't know, weaker than conventional medicine. But the truth is, plants are packed with powerful stuff that can have a real impact on our health.
Right. It's not about picking sides. It's about knowing what both approaches can offer. But red clover, what really struck me was just how versatile it is. It seems to help with so many different things.
For sure. We've talked about hormones, skin health, your heart, detoxing, even potentially preventing cancer. That's a lot for one little plant to handle.
I know, right? And it goes back to what you were saying before, how everything in our bodies is connected. It's not about just treating, one symptom at a time. It's about making sure your whole body is balanced and working the way it should.
That's the heart of holistic health. It's all connected. And when one thing is off, it can throw everything else out of whack. Red clover, with its ability to support so many different systems, can really help us find that balance again.
So before we wrap things up, I want to bring it back to our listeners. We've covered a ton about red clover, but ultimately, it's up to each person to decide if they want to try it for themselves.
Exactly. Do your research, talk to your doctor, and most importantly, listen to what your body is telling you.
Absolutely. What works for one person might not be right for someone else. It's about finding what works best for you and what your body needs.
And remember, even little changes can make a big difference. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Maybe start with a cup of red clover tea a few times a week, or add a supplement to your routine.
It's all about finding those natural remedies that fit into your life in a way that's easy and feels good.
Right. And that's a great lesson from red clover, don't you think? It's not just about the health benefits, it's about rediscovering the power of nature and the simple joy of bringing plants into our everyday lives.
So true. As we say goodbye to our deep dive into red clover, we want to leave you with a question. Where do you see red clover fitting into your own wellness journey? Maybe it's a comforting cup of tea after a long day. Maybe it's gentle support during menopause. Or maybe it's just a natural way to support your overall health.
The possibilities are endless, right? So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep discovering all those natural treasures that can help you live your healthiest and most vibrant life.
Thanks for joining us as we explored the amazing world of red clover. We'll see you next time for another fascinating journey into the world of natural remedies.